Hi everybody, it's Donna here from Purple Pinky Promises, and we are doing some more hot foiling in this project today. Okay, this video is packed in a short period of time. I don't know if I can keep up with it. So we're going to start off here. We are using the Plaid. I believe the products will be listed in the video description, but this one is the Plaid Tidings background. And we're going to use some black foil here on the white cardstock. Now I've been trying out different cardstock to see what works, and white cardstock that is. I'm still not, I have not perfected the white cardstock yet, guys. I'm still working on it. But I will get there. So, essentially, I start out with the black on the white. And I don't use any shims other than what comes with it, which is, there's two plates that come with this hot foil system. The first plate that I lay down is the spacer pad, and then that green one on top is the thin shim. So as you can see there, I had some overfoiling that took place, and honestly, I had heard that the black was really hard to work with, so of course I have to take the challenge, you know. And it was difficult to work with, I will admit, but I really loved, I still loved it. I still loved that look. Okay, so now we're taking the negative space, and we are going to put it on the Essential Glimmer solid rectangle so that we can get we don't want to waste all that foil. So here we go. We are going to use this for our pumpkins in the card that I made. So underfoiling was what kind of happened here, but that's because we overfoiled in the first one. So now I'm demonstrating to you one of my favorites. The next two are my absolute favorites. So this is the Spellbinders Pomegranate Cardstock with the black foil. And I had to show you this here. I had some ghosting that went on when I set that down on my hot plate. It just kept going up and up and up. And surprisingly, this one and the next one turned out more beautiful than anything. But anyway, I want you to notice there that I used a hinge technique so that my cardstock wouldn't slide around when I put it through through my die cutting machine. Okay, so here we go. The reveal is on its way, and it's beautiful because not only did this hot foil, but it did a letterpress and it debossed the paper, because this is a higher grade paper. This paper is a little thicker. It's a very nice quality cardstock, and wow, I loved the results that I got with this. It was absolutely stunning. I was quite impressed. So black on a colored cardstock, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So here's the next one that I did. This is the opal on black cardstock. I really liked this. Now I want to tell you, I ran that through the first time and I didn't have it on there correct because it's hard to see the front and the back with this opal. And I'm about to show you a little tip here. Put some tape on the back side so you know what is the back side and what's the side, so you know which side to put your hot foil down on. In other words, the you want to make sure, yep, that side will go facing up. It's the ugly side that faces you, the gray side that faces you, but there's no gray side on that opal, so it was really hard to tell. So when you're rolling it off, you know that the side that you're looking at is the side that you want to face towards the hot plate. So tape it. Put a piece of tape on there so you know which is which if you're going to use that opal. Okay, we're using another hinge technique, but this time we are using these thin etched dies, and they are from Sunny Studio. And we're going to now make sure that those dies are facing up and not down because you'll ruin your hot plate. So I was just double checking there to make sure everything looked good. And so once this is all good and ready, I roll this through, and I honestly loved the way these leaves turned out. They kind of look sketchy. Now they overfoiled, and I was okay with that because I had to fussy cut them anyway. And because I'm going to fussy cut them, I have more control over what it looks like. I can cut off that overfoiling. This was beautiful. So there aren't any stamps that coordinate with this die set. So this is just absolutely a wonderful way to stretch the use of these dies, is to get some foil. And you got your details from the etching, and you got the details from the outline. Just a really neat thing that I absolutely love learning. New techniques, new things. This was really fun. Okay, so now, and those leaves are the autumn greenery. Now I'm taking another new set from Sunny Studio, the pumpkin patch die, and then I'm using that negative space to cut out my pumpkins. And I try to move it every which way to get the best looking pieces of the cardstock, but it ended up not mattering anyway. And I'll tell you why later. But here are some stems. These are fun little spiral stems that I decided to add to the backs of my pumpkins instead of traditional looking stems. And folks, what I'm about to do right here, don't do it. I turned it over, and did you know that if you put your hot foiling directly on your silicone mat, it'll lift it up. You'll get splotching, which is what happened to me on all of these pumpkins, and I did not realize it until towards the end of the video. The piece that I had die cut actually didn't look that bad, but by the time I was done, and with those leaves looking as sketchy as they looked, I was okay with it. I went ahead with it. Sometimes you just gotta say, it's a learning process. All right, so next what I'm doing is I am taking the oval from the Waffle Flower Lacy Ovals Die, and I ended up using the third die for that. And I'm also running it through with the second die from the additional A2 layers die. And the actual measurement on that one is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And that black piece, and of course you see I have a leftover frame I can use on another project, but that black piece of cardstock measures 4 by 5 1/4. And that's the actual, that's the original A2 layers die set. So there's an original, and then there's an additional one where you can get even more layers onto your cards. Okay, so here we go. I was really glad I used the Misty stamping platform because I overheat embossed this. And I don't even know how that happened, but it did. And sometimes it does happen. You overheat things. That's what's nice about the stamping platform. because I ended up taking that back to the stamping platform, re-stamping it with VersaMark, and reapplying that white embossing powder, which is from Wow. That's the Opaque Bright White. And it turned out nice. I like the way it turned out. There was no way I was going to waste this card. I have worked hard on all that foiling. I was not going to waste it. And I love the font, and I love this saying. I absolutely love that stamp set from Catherine Puller. That is the Give Thanks Sentiments stamp set. Okay. All right. So here's what I learned while I was editing this video. Those leaves would have been just enough for the base of that card, or just those two pumpkins right there. Perfect. I think that adding that extra pumpkin was too much. And I think maybe if I'd left it at that, or just the leaves. I personally think that just the leaves would have been really nice. I think I would have been happy with them. This, I feel like those pumpkins are they're kind of hard to see. So I think I may have really tried too hard with this, trying to get this design down. And I should have just left it at the leaves and been happy with it. But I don't know. Do you ever get into that mindset that, by golly, I did it and so I'm using it? I think that's what happened here. Okay. The card doesn't look bad. I'm actually overall happy with it because I learned a lot in the process. And it's pretty. Monochromatic cards can sometimes be difficult because there is just basically, you're just working with one color scheme, and it can be difficult, especially when you're layering like this. But I made it. And my piece of advice for you today is don't push it. Don't force it. Don't make it happen just because you worked so hard on it. Use it on a different project, which is kind of what I wish I had done. These pumpkins would have really looked cute on a white background, I think, or maybe even a craft cardstock. I'm thinking craft would have been really cute. So, yeah. Well, this project is just about complete. I'm about to throw some gems on there and finish it up. And this is when I discovered that my foiling was coming off from the mat. Oh, heavens to Betsy. Oh well, it's still pretty. So I'm pulling out these Motor City sequins, which are very, very pretty. Grays and steel grays and silver and black. Charcoal, really, really, really pretty. And they really did finish off this card. Give it a little bit of pop. That's funny. I ended up putting my gems on in a very unusual way. I was holding the card and sticking the gems on as I went along. I guess it was because I was having trouble seeing. It was, I don't know. It was a late nighter, guys. Maybe my eyes were tired. And I'm letting you see this whole process here. Should I insert the crickets? All right, that completes the card. I actually ended up adding a couple of more sequins, and you'll see that in the close-up picture here. Guys, I really, really do appreciate you stopping by and giving us a like, a subscribe, a share, a comment, whatever it is that you can do. We certainly appreciate it. I hope you all have a blessed rest of your day and a blessed rest of your week. Take care. Bye-bye.